Have you ever wondered why some color combinations work together and others just don't? Or how artists are able to elicit such strong emotions from their paintings based on color alone? Well, it really just boils down to color theory. Hi, my name is Bonnie from Bad Witch Studio, and today I'm going to give you 4 key principles of color theory. You may be asking, what is color theory? Color theory is the science and art of using colors. This helps us mix, match, create contrast, create harmony in anything from paintings to branding. The 4 things I'll be going into in this video is color wheel itself, how colors are made, color harmony, and color psychology. These 4 principles can really make or break a painting. It can help you elicit stronger emotions, or it can even be used as symbolism in your piece. So with that, let's get started with the color wheel. The color wheel is built from 3 primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. We can't mix these colors. But after those comes our secondary colors, like orange, green, and purple. These are the neighboring colors to our primary colors. These will make up the basis of our color wheel. But if you take it a step further by blending a primary with a secondary color, you will get our tertiary colors. These are going to be things like red, orange, blue, green, yellow, green, so on and so forth. From there, you can really take it as far as you want to go. I mean, you can mix colors not quite endlessly, but by adding more of those secondary, tertiary, and primary colors, you can really start to get a beautiful gradient around your color wheel. So now that we understand the color wheel, let's go into what makes colors. So colors are made by 4 specific principles, which are hue, saturation, value, and light. So hue is what we usually mean when we say color. Red, yellow, green, blue, blue, violet, so on and so forth. This is really just the point this color is on the color wheel. So if you look at the color wheel, you can kind of split it in half between warm tones and cool. Our warm tones are going to be things like red, orange, and yellow, whereas our cool tones are green, blue, and purple. These 2 sides of the color wheel can elicit different emotions. So your reds and your oranges and your yellows are very exciting colors. They're colors of action. It kind of gives you a lot of energy. Whereas if you look at the other side, your greens, your blues, and your purples, they're a lot more calming to look at. They're more grounding. These are going to be the more peaceful side of the color wheel. Now, taking hue a step further, we are going to look at my favorite one, value. Value is going to refer to how light or dark a color is. So you can think of this like a gradient that goes from pure white to pure black, and all of those shades in between. Now, this one is possibly the most important, because even if you have a lot of beautiful colors, if they're all the same value, your painting will be hard to read and a little hard to look at. You need that value in there to show depth and really make objects 3-dimensional. So you can think of it like a cube, or if you look at a landscape where the very back of the landscape is a lot lighter, it's a lot muted, and then the front of the landscape is a lot more vibrant. There's a lot more contrast to it. This is how we get depth, is through value. But really, it's just kind of important to look at your value and make sure you have a lot of it in there, just to give your painting a little more visual contrast. If you're using colors other than white and black, sometimes it's a good thing to look at it through a black and white lens, just to make sure that it's reading properly. With that, we'll go into the most fun one, saturation. Saturation is about intensity. This is about its boldness and how vibrant it is. Whereas your desaturated colors are going to be more muted, soft, kind of grayish. Like with value, you want a lot of different saturation in your painting just to make it more visually interesting. You can have a painting that is mostly muted and then have one very vibrant saturated spot to it, and that's where it's going to draw attention to your eyes. Now, I know I've said a lot of these are my favorites or very important, but this one is also important, and that is going to be lighting. Lighting really can change everything. Think about painting at night versus doing it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. With your nighttime, it's going to be a lot cooler colors. They're going to be a lot darker. Whereas with your 5 o'clock painting, things are going to be a lot more warm toned. So lighting really is important when it comes to planning out the color choices, but as well as the emotion that you're trying to elicit from the painting. You can also think about, what does it look like under candlelight, LED lights, black lights? The list goes on and on of different types of lighting that you can have in a piece. Now that we know what colors we're working with and how to create them, we can talk about how to blend them to make something more balanced, emotional, or dynamic. This is going to be color harmony. We're going to talk about 4 specific types of color harmony, and that will be complementary, analogous, triadic, and monochromatic. Complementary colors are opposites on the color wheel. So this is going to be blue, orange, red, green, and yellow and purple. These colors are going to be high in contrast and give you a lot of drama. Analogous are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So if green is your center point, you can think about yellow green and green blue with that green. So these are going to give you a very calm and cohesive type of painting. Well, maybe not calm if you're using like reds and oranges, but calm in the sense that it's going to flow very well and give you a very specific emotion. Triadic colors are 3 evenly spaced colors on the wheel. So you can think about red, blue, and yellow, or orange, green, and purple. These are going to be very bold choices, but they will look very balanced as well. Last but not least, we have monochromatic. Monochromatic is going to be using one hue and then changing the value and saturation to create a specific emotion in mind. So using one of these 4 types of color harmony can really help bring your painting together if you want to elicit specific emotions or if you just want a very cohesive look. Now, the last one on my list is not specifically color theory, but I do think it's very important when it comes to choosing colors for your paintings. And it's one of my favorite topics, color psychology. So to tie a little magic into this video, color psychology and color magic are used for the exact same purposes and generally line up with each other very well. So personally for me, if I want to bring more happiness and joy into my day, maybe I'll put on a yellow dress or I'll do yellow eyeshadow. More often than not, I wear green toenail polish for the simple need of grounding because that color makes me feel closer to nature and it just helps me relax a little bit, even if I can't get into the graph. I could talk about color psychology all day, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what each color means. Red is the color of passion, energy, and power. It can feel passionate, urgent, or aggressive. This color demands attention. Yellow is the color of joy, optimism, and light. It brings happiness, energy, and warmth, but too much of it can feel a little overwhelming. Blue is the color of calm, trust, and sadness. It's very soothing and peaceful, but it can also represent melancholy. Green is the color of nature, healing, and growth. It connects us to the earth. It's very healing, feels balancing. Purple is the color of magic, spirituality, and mystery. It feels very luxurious. It's a very mystical color. Black is the color of elegance, power, and mourning. It's very strong, it's a very mysterious color, but it can also be used to represent grief and sadness. White is the color of purity, light, and simplicity. It brings space, it brings clarity, it's very peaceful. It can also feel cold and distant, depending on how it's used. So to briefly recap this video, we learned what the colors are through primary, tertiary, and secondary. We learned how to make these colors through hue, where it's at on the color wheel, saturation, its intensity, value on its scale from light to dark, and then light as its light source. Color harmony, which shows us how to choose these colors to make a piece visually appealing, and then color psychology of how to use those colors to create a mood. Once you understand color theory and color psychology, it's no longer about just picking colors. It is about setting a mood, telling a story, and guiding the viewer's eye to create a unique experience. And this goes whether you're painting, designing, and branding, home decor, so on and so forth. Color really is our most powerful tool. If you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button for more magical art tips. Drop a comment, give me your favorite color and what it means to you. I would love to hear from you. All right, thanks for being here.